another Brave for by one. Speaking of reactions, another thing I really like watching is and I might just start reacting to movie trailers as well if I'm interested, because the Snyder Cut trailer came out today, and you best believe I saw that, which I am super excited because I'm someone who haven't seen Justice League, the original, because I didn't watch Batman v Superman, and by the time that Batman v Superman had come out, I had already lost hope in the DC, whatever they call their entertainment franchise. So it's like obviously, don't get me wrong, I love DC Comics. DC Comics will always have my heart, but Marvel movies, dude, and they just know how to do media better, dude. Like, you know, DC's got some good games though. Their games are good. That's one thing they're good at. Their games, and if they just keep running with it, Gotham Knights is coming out, Suicide Squad's a game. If those bang, they just run with that, you know? That's what they're good at. And honestly, you might get more fans out of the gaming industry than the media industry when it comes to comics. Because most fans of comics end up going into movies anyway. Because they're the more common type of place to see superhero media. Because you don't see many superhero games anymore. It's hard to do a superhero fantasy in a game, you know? The biggest problem with that, or like the biggest example, is DC Universe Online or whatever. That MMO. All pay to win. You can't even play the game without paying for it. Like it's a free game, but like you play the tutorial and set up your powers, which are basic at best, and then you don't do anything with it. So unless you want to fork over $100, you're not going to enjoy the game. I'm sure the game is great if you put the money into it, but I'm not like that, you know? I want like that power fantasy from like a game I can play, you know, even if it's not online, you know. Like Avengers, when that was announced, I was so excited, and then they went and did what they did with it, and it was trash. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the game's alright, but like, the cons far outweigh the pros. I didn't even have to buy the game. I tried it, and it wasn't good. Like it felt alright. Like, it felt like a fun Marvel game for what you could at the time. But it's just not right, you know? We can do better. I played the Superhero Squad game on the DS as a kid, and I thought that was an insane Marvel game. Ultimate Alliance back in the day on the PS2 was a banger. It's not hard to do superheroes right, it's just people are too ambitious with the superhero, with the limitations that superheroes have, because the fact that they don't have any means you have essentially an infinite ceiling to put. You have an infinite roof to keep just throwing up there. Your expectations go with it. So it's like, you're never going to get what you want out of it, because superheroes are limitless. But you know, that's just how I feel about it. I've studied the games industry far too much now to not expect, like, the only superhero games that can be consistently done well are solo superhero games. It's hard to do ensemble games, because you have to work with a bunch of different powers, and you have to create different physics for each power. It just doesn't work, you know? Ensembles are hard to do without limiting their powers. You know, you can do Batman games just fine, and I'm sure you can do a single-player version of any other superhero. Hell, there's a single-player Wii Iron Man game that's actually pretty good. Like, it's actually really good. Like, for the time, at least. And it did a good job, and it worked with Iron Man's set of abilities. But, you know, be that how it is, I imagine superhero games will get there eventually. I'm excited for what we have coming up. Star Wars has a couple games coming out. COD's about to release Open World Zombies, which might get me back into playing. We'll see. There's plenty going on this year. We're realizing we gotta make changes, and we gotta adapt now after last year was so strange. Myself included, because now I have to figure out how to do my content in a way that, you know, that fits the time. This last year changed how people view content, how people enjoy content so much. It's so different now. And YouTube, with their change in algorithm, throwing shorts in there, which is, I'm sure a lot of these will be clips. So hey, welcome to the clip. If you're checking this out, come check me out on Twitch. You'll see when I'm streaming. Check my Twitter. I'm bad at schedules. But you know, that being said, it's just weird. You know, games are weird right now. You know, VR though. VR is where I'm doing a lot of my focus right now. A lot of my mental and like my thought on the games industry is in the VR side of it. I have my Oculus. I have my little Woojer strap, my haptic band. I've just been getting super engrossed into it, and I was gonna buy I was looking into full body VR haptic suits, and I was looking into them, and the haptic suit is only $1,000. I'm thinking about it at some point, like it's 1,400 or something like that. And then there's the Tesla suit, which is 13 grand. But that's not possible. As much as I would love to try that. Hell, it's $3 grand for one of those treadmills, or I found one for 2,500. And I was thinking about getting one of those eventually at some point. But there's just a lot of new things out VR-wise that I really want to try, because VR has always been my big fever dream ever since I was a kid. Like, I didn't watch Sword Art Online, which is where a lot of people's VR kicks come from. But like, I had always had that real interest in virtual reality, and I don't know where it came from. But when it started becoming a reality, you best believe I was one of the most excited people on Earth. I remember, I still vividly to this day remember being in like my 2nd and 3rd grade class, sitting down and imagining VR gaming being a little pod that you could step into, and like the thing will close, and the whole thing around you is just a bunch of warping panels. I didn't know how to explain the haptic thing. I thought that was hooked directly into your brain, so, you know, maybe Neuralink has something. But, you know, childhood me will eventually get my wishes. I can imagine if any company's evil enough, eventually they push VR. I've learned that if there's something that somebody wants, a company will exploit it for profit at some point, so I can just wait and I can expect Amazon or somebody to start going. Like how I used to be a big MMO guy, and now Amazon's making an MMO. This is New World, and I'm actually interested in it. However, I know there's got to be some fuck shit with it. There is no way it is complete free to play all the way through. Like, it's got to be pay to win or like some paywall type stuff, because Amazon's Amazon, and they're not going to put all their money into making a game, especially an MMO, if they're not expecting to make a huge profit off of it. That's the only reason I can imagine a big company like Amazon making an MMO as their first game. Nobody goes and just says, alright, we're just going to make an MMO. Like, they know that that is the most profitable money, like, strategy. And that's why they're doing it. And the thing is, right, like, I don't like that I have such a negative, view on, like, companies like that. But it's like, you just know that that's what they're doing. Like, there's no altruistic benefit for them out of it. Nobody wants to just make a game anymore. Except indie developers. And indie developers keep making bangers back to back. And that's why I don't get mad when indie developers go and chase a bag like Scott Cawthon did. Like, we were talking about it the other day here. Like, that man really was about to give up, and then launched a series that gave him 7 games, 7 books, a movie, and like a whole bunch of other things, including endless merchandise and spin-off things, including an entire fan game, an entire genre of gaming in and of itself. Like, this guy, you can't get mad at him. Him and Toby Fox are like 2 people you just can't get mad at, because they did it. They did it, and they did it completely right. They made a game because they wanted to make a game, and you know what? It worked. And they benefited off it because they made a damn good game each. And I'll give it to them. I'll give them credit where credit is due. Even if I'm not like a big fan of horror games, I'll still give it to Scott for all that. Like, that's the kind of dream everybody who's into the games industry wants. You want to be in gaming if you're a huge game fan. Like, there's nobody who's a video game fanatic who doesn't want to have their career have something to do with video games. That's why I'm here. I love video games, and I can't do it any other way. I love this. But, so it's like, you can respect it. You can see what they want, and it's the same thing that we do. We want to be able to, you know, enjoy video games for our life. That's what feels good for us, and that's what makes sense. I'll never fault anybody for wanting to go and do what they think is like best for them, or what they think they have always wanted to do. No, your dream's your dream, dude. It's gonna happen.
Give it up, gonna be alright.